marvellous vision of Dr. Yin in establishing these prestigious awards. I also congratulate Dr. Yin and the Foundation on this 10th anniversary of the creation of the awards for all that's been achieved in consolidating the Tang Prize over its first decade and recognising such marvellous and important work across the world. And I thank Professor Ye for a very generous presentation of my work. I know of all the previous laureates in the rule of law, and I greatly admire them. It's humbling to be in their company. The contributions to law that each of them has made are extraordinary, and the diversity of their work speaks to the breadth and relevance of the rule of law as conceived by the Foundation. Justice R.B. Sachs fought for the end of the apartheid regime in South Africa, and once that was achieved, held a position on its inaugural Constitutional Court. Justice Louise Arbour was the chief prosecutor for the International Criminal Tribunal at a critical developmental stage for international criminal procedure. The late Professor Joseph Raz was one of the leading legal and political philosophers of our time, whose work on the rule of law has profoundly influenced thinking about it, including my own. And the three NGOs who were awarded the 2020 prize employed the techniques of law creatively and with rigour in different parts of the world to protect vulnerable people and to advance the causes of justice in impressive practical applications of the rule of law. My own field in comparative constitutional law is different again. The field isn't new, but it experienced an explosion of new energy with the end of the Cold War, and it's developed rapidly over the decades since. It also has both theoretical and practical applications, including for the purposes of peace building, constitutional transition, and effective global collaboration on pressing common problems, of which climate change is obvious and urgent. My own interest over these decades has been to better understand what is required to conduct comparison on a global scale in order to realise its potential. My perspectives on the challenges of this project have been significantly shaped by the vast Asia-Pacific region in which most of us here today live. The complexity and diversity of constitutional arrangements across the Asia-Pacific and of the contexts in which they operate make the rest of the world look simple by comparison. And I'm particularly appreciative of the emphasis placed on my work in the region in the citation for the Tang Prize. Relevantly for today's ceremony, comparative constitutional law also offers insights into the rule of law in ways that can further its purposes. The rule of law famously is a term that's widely used, but may denote very different things. Comparative constitutional law can identify and analyse variations that range from procedural to more substantive understandings linked to human dignity and rights. It can evaluate the significance of such differences in context. It can identify options for change where appropriate. And it can help to explain the lack of enthusiasm for the rule of law in societies where law is associated with exploitation and injustice. In these and other ways, comparative constitutional law has a role to play in making the rule of law both resilient and relevant. No comparative constitutional lawyer works in isolation. It's simply impossible. In my case, I've benefited enormously from interaction with other scholars bilaterally and in networks across the world. Everything I've done in the Asia-Pacific region has been in active collaboration with others, some of whom are here today. I've learned so much from them all, and importantly, I've learned how much there is to know. Throughout my career, I've also benefited greatly from the supportive environment at Melbourne Law School, whose flexibility has enabled me to engage in so many comparative ventures over such a long period of time. Satisfying though my work has been, what really gives meaning to life is family. And I'm very blessed to be part of a close-knit, supportive and tolerant family. Family are the people you laugh and cry with, relax with and worry about, and rely on without question. 4 of them are here today: my daughter Susie, my son-in-law Matt, my son Stephen, and my youngest grandson, Marcelo. It's wonderful to be able to share this occasion with them, and I thank the Foundation for making it possible to have them here. So in closing, let me again thank the Tang Prize Foundation for the honour of this award. And I also thank the staff of the Foundation for the support they provided for me as laureate over the past year. They could not have been more thoughtful and attentive.